We're back, y'alls. Yes, we're back. The Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. Well, here we go again. We are on I-70 in Indiana. I-70 Indiana. We went past Indianapolis, the city of Indianapolis, where the traffic got to be terrible. And the cause for this traffic, and I imagine it's what happens every day going westbound, which is the direction I'm going in, westbound. What up? I would imagine that this is something that occurs every day, morning, evening, rush hour, because you have two major highways merging into each other. So you have vehicles that are crossing from 1 up to 3 lanes of crossing over in both directions, to the left and to the right. So things become confusing because of that. And to add to that confusion, especially for people who are crossing that juncture for the first time, what adds to the complication is the people who create the name escapes me, but the people that want to get into a lane at the last second, they create bottlenecking. There's the word. The bottleneckers cause a tremendous slowdown in traffic. I'll give you an example. Like right now, I'm on a 2-lane road, and let's say there's some construction or some kind of barrier or something where the left lane is closed, and there'll be a sign that states that the left lane will be closed maybe a mile ahead. Well, you got an entire mile to get into the right lane, but you have people that maybe missed the sign or ignored the sign. Those are the real villains, the one that ignore the sign. They see it, but they said whatever. And as people are making their way to the right lane, others stay on the left lane because it's clear for a much further distance. The right lane is probably slowing down by a lot. If you had drivers that, I don't know, respected the fact that we're being reduced to 1 lane, the right lane that continues to go would probably move at a pace of maybe 50, 55 miles an hour. If the maximum speed limit is 65 and 70, you could potentially see the right lane moving at 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. But because of the people who want to race down the left lane to get ahead of everybody else, they wind up causing both the right and the left lanes to move at 10 miles per hour or less because of these bottleneckers. Instead of cooperating, being considerate, getting in the right lane well ahead of time, and making it so that everybody could travel at 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. Nope. They got to get ahead of everybody else, get on that left lane, and then other people watch one or two do that, and other people start to join, and then before you know it, the bottleneck is ridiculous. Everybody's traveling at 10 miles per hour at best, down to 5 miles an hour. Yeah, not helpful. So if you're driving and you can resist the urge to get ahead of everybody else, stay in the lane that's supposed to be traveling all the way through as soon as you can. That way, everybody can travel at a much faster speed. There was talk of how Trump and his administration were trying to rip people off of their retirement accounts, like their 401ks and things of that nature. Their defined contribution accounts. That's a misleading headline. That's a misleading headline. It's not to say that people aren't going to get hurt, but it is misleading. And I'll explain why. These defined contribution accounts have rules and regulations so that you have a limited type of asset that you can purchase. Very different from having an individual account in a brokerage like Robinhood, Schwab, E-Trade, for example. They offer a much wider variety of products that you can participate in. The 401s of the world have limitations. So, because it's a retirement account, regulators don't want you taking advantage of high risk vehicles, high risk approaches, high risk products. So it's limited. Some brokerages won't allow you to self-direct. In other words, they won't allow you to manage your own portfolio. It has to be managed by a manager at the firm, at the brokerage firm. So what happening is that you're stuck paying a fee for the management of your portfolio. Which kind of puts a cap on the return that you can get, but it's a return nonetheless. And it's their way of ensuring that when you walk away, when you retire, you'll have something other than your Social Security to sustain yourself with. That's the whole purpose of having a retirement account. Now keep in mind that before the 401k, there were companies that used to entice people to come work for them by offering a pension. Now, the difference between a pension and a 401k is that with the pension, the company itself had to be responsible for how well the money was managed, how well your investments were managed. But then the 401 was created and corporations moved away from the pension and now left the responsibility of participating for a retirement plan and having another entity manage your retirement plan. Was more beneficial for the corporation. Not only did they not have to take some of the revenue, and I'm talking about the corporations, not only did they not have to take a portion of the revenue and allocate some of that money to investment vehicles for people's retirements, but now they were able to contribute to each individual 401k and get a tax break through their contributions to the 401k. Of course, there's a cap as to how much a corporation can contribute to each individual 401k. Otherwise, it'll dump tons of money into the 401k, and all that money that they drop in that 401k, they won't have to pay taxes on it. But now there's a limit. There's a cap. And there's some confusion as to these contributions into the 401k that people have, where some of the employers say they'll contribute dollar for dollar. However, if you max out your contributions, which is, I don't know where it is now, I think it's somewhere around $25,000 for the year. You can check. I don't know what it is right now, but if $25,000 is the max contribution that you as an employee can make, that doesn't mean that the corporation can put in another $25,000. You should check and see. I think it's somewhere around 3.5%. I don't remember well. It's been a while. 2010 was the last year I worked for a brokerage. With what this administration is proposing now is that 401ks include products that would not have been allowed, like cryptocurrency, for example. So now, individuals with 401ks can take higher risks with their retirement account, which makes it possible for people to retire with less as a result of losses due to their engagement with their 401ks. That's really where the hazard lies. It's not so much that these people are trying to take your 401k money. That's a misleading headline. Cowpokes next exit. Look at that. I haven't reviewed my videos, but I think a lot of what I've recorded has a lot of space, a lot of empty space, a lot of farmland, a lot of forest, maybe you can call it. Oh, yesterday. Well, by the way, I'm in Indiana. If you haven't figured that out, I did say I went to Indianapolis and I'm headed westbound, approaching Terre Haute. I don't really know how to pronounce that name. It's French. Terre Haute, Indiana. As I'm driving, I couldn't believe my eyes. Where was I? Was I in Pennsylvania or West Virginia? I'm not sure. Might have been Pennsylvania. Might have been. I don't think I crossed into West Virginia yet, but laid out on the shoulder was a bear. Apparently a bear got hit by something, a vehicle or something. Yep. Took his last breath, and I don't know if it was dragged over to the shoulder by the highway maintenance people or the authorities. That sucker was big, and I'm pretty sure it was a black bear, because we don't have grizzlies out here. It must have been an adult male black bear, because that sucker was big. That thing looked to be about 6 feet tall standing, maybe, and probably weighed somewhere between 250 and 300 pounds. It was big. And understand, a bear that size is very strong. Will tear you up. I was gonna pull over and videotape it, but I didn't want to take a chance that it was just temporarily incapacitated. And as I'm recording it, that sucker wakes up, and they're fast too. They're faster than humans, much faster, and they have tremendous stamina. They can run and run. They run out. They run out their prey. They get out. They wear them down. Those bears are no joke. If I had to say, here in the Northeast, or in the North rather, in North America, grizzly bears are an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Polar bears are actually worse, because polar bears don't eat fruits or any kind of vegetation. When they're hungry, it's all meat. And that's what you are. All meat. Polar bears are no joke. They're the tallest of the bears, I think. But grizzlies are no joke. Grizzlies are no joke. While I was traveling to the west, crossing Wyoming and Montana and Idaho, and then sometimes when I'm traveling through California, I go to the internet to try to see if there are any bears with tracking devices on, and sure enough, you have them. Every state has trackers on grizzlies that you can get a sense of what area they're in. So imagine, as a truck driver, you wind up in some area in California or Montana, and you got to pull into some lot somewhere, I don't know. You definitely want to make sure your doors are locked, because those suckers will open your door. Open that door wide open. Wake up from your bed and you see this big old head, and they absolutely love brains. There was I don't know what you call him. I don't know if he was an actor. I don't know what he was. But he became well known for going into the wilderness and being amongst bears until that fateful day. Yep. Not faith with TH, but fateful day he was with his girlfriend, and there was this one bear that was acting odd, and he was a big one too, a grizzly bear. And that grizzly bear was acting odd, and this guy had been doing this for years, getting close to these bears for years, and there's this one bear acting odd. And he got attacked by that one bear. And there was only audio left. And the screams that came out of this man's mouth were absolutely terrifying. This bear was just tearing chunks of flesh off, biting into him. The screams were incredible. Biting into him and just ripping chunks off right through the clothes and everything. And then there was one point where he was biting on his head because he wanted to get at his brains. They love brains. And you can hear the exchange, and then the girlfriend tried to do something about it. I think she came out with a frying pan or something to try to hit the bear away or scare him off. He got hurt too. The remains were found. I don't know how long it took for the people to realize they were missing, and the authorities went looking, and sure enough, they just found remains. Those things are no joke. Those grizzly bears are no joke. One swipe with that paw of theirs, with those claws that they have, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It catches you across the head with that thing, yeah, you're done. You're bear food, yeah. I mean, I couldn't bear to listen to it anymore. Yeah, pun intended. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a nice day. I don't know if I'm on Central Time yet or not. Close to it. Yeah, I should be Central Time if I'm near Terre Haute. Let me see. Nope, not yet. I'm not in Central Time yet. How do I know? Because I have like 4 different devices. 2 of them have Eastern Time, and the others have whatever current time zone I'm in. I'm looking at one right now, so I'm still in the Eastern Time zone. Anyway, guys, stay fresh and keep it profitable. And don't forget, you want soap? Tower Helms. You want pain relieving lotions and ointments and things like that? The All Balm Lady. Their channels are in the description below, as are 2 very popular brokerages that will reward you for opening up a brokerage with them through the link below. Once again, stay fresh and keep it profitable. Let me see if Kitty's out here somewhere so he can come grab y'all and take you back to the Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda. İşler